You are the night, janitor at a portal to other dimensions. You pad quietly down the hallway. The walls are pockmarked with tiny portals, windows looking into other dimensions. Some show starscapes swirling lazily. Others flicker with the pulse of alien nebula. You stop to wipe a smudge off one frame with your rag, leaning in close. The galaxy inside yawns like a sleepy cat stretching on its back. Once the glass is clear, the stars wink at you appreciatively. You offer a silent nod, as if greeting an old friend, though it's hard to tell if they heard. Even the cosmos likes things tidy. A mellow beeping interrupts the silence. It's the morning alarm of the quantum coffee machine in the break room. It brews at 12:01 a.m. every night, exactly 1 minute after your shift starts, as if it knows it's the only time someone, you, would come for coffee. With a gentle smile at this tiny act of consideration, you enter the break room, where the soft percolation of coffee is the only sound. The machine glows softly. On its display, it cheerfully apologizes for any inconvenience with a blinking quantum brew in progress, caffeine calibration underway. You know the Human Resources Department insists on politeness in all equipment. You pour a cup of dark, rich liquid and inhale deeply. It smells of bitter success and slightly overworked cosmic rays. The break room chair is lopsided, a relic from some contractor's dimensional prank. But you sit and close your eyes for a moment. Sipping the coffee, you find a warm comfort in it, despite the fact that it tastes slightly like burnt star, an occupational hazard when the machine tries brewing from Martian dust. Somehow, in this hour, even a minor miracle feels normal. No one else on this floor, except the cleaning robots, is awake, so it can afford to be cozy. The cat's fur is not quite black, not quite cosmic red, but somewhere in between. A nebula kitten, practically. It purrs like the engine of a sleepy spaceship as it rubs against your leg. You joke to yourself that at least you have company on shift, even if it's an 8-dimensional feline with 4 eyes and opinions. You lightly pet its head. It starts purring louder, and the lights flicker in response. You've come to understand these cats manage the power grid in their own way. You say, "You're on break too, huh?" And the cat looks indignantly at its empty bowl, as if to say, "You forgot the snack you promised." You chuckle and reach into your pocket for a handful of interdimensional kibble. It chows down happily while you finish the last sip of coffee. The portal room. First duties. With coffee in hand and energy regained, you return down the corridor to the portal control room. The room is ringed with softly glowing archways, each portal to a different dimension yawning open like sleeping mouths. They emit a gentle hum that feels comfortable, not menacing, more like the steady heartbeat of the building at night. The largest one in the center requires special attention. Tonight, it's flickering in and out of sync. Its light undulating as if it's trying to get comfortable. You know better than to ignore it, even if everything else is calm. You pull up the ladder and climb carefully, reaching for the portal's stabilizer dial. It looks like a giant radio knob made of carved obsidian. Twisting it, you tune the portal's frequency. The hum in the room smooths out. The portal opens fully now, revealing its endless void beyond. A soft indigo twilight landscape where two suns set on a double horizon. You smile at the sight. It looks like home for aliens after a long day's work. Everything is working correctly, but you still wipe down the control console's glass to impress the cosmos. "Hello? Hello?" croaks the portal loudly, interrupting you. It speaks in a voice like 1,000 people yawning at once. You stop your cleaning for a moment. The portal's built-in voice chimes in with text on a screen. Calibration complete. All systems nominal. Portal number 7. It's happily chattering about its status. You smile. It's weirdly comforting having the portal talk to you in all this silence. "Good night, portal," you say softly, patting its cool frame. "Don't dream too wild until morning shift." It rumbles a little hum back, like it understands. With one last polish of the console glass, you slide down the ladder. There's still a world of tasks left to do on your list, but the portal is behaving for now. Hallway patrol and repairs. Out in the hall, the floor is a mosaic of inlaid metal and glass panels, and vacuuming it is oddly pleasant. Every sweep of the vacuum leaves behind a soft glow as particles catch the light. It's like painting with a light brush. You watch the dust vanish into the intake, wondering if it'll ever reach the center of the machine or travel to another dimension. A cosmological bonus you've never documented, but suspect is happening. On the wall, a panel labeled "Extraterrestrial Etiquette" lights up. It blinks its display like an absurd corporate safety poster delivered by an intergalactic HR department, reminding you not to feed the Guardians. Midway down the corridor, a loose ceiling tile dangles dangerously. You prop it up with your broom handle, securing it above with a zip tie. Always fix things quietly, you remind yourself. Upstairs, any crash might wake someone, but down here, the only thing to disturb is your own train of thought. The light behind that panel always flickers at exactly 2:13 a.m. You know it like clockwork. because it's the most haunted light bulb in 3 sectors. You leave it as is. The flickering is comforting, not annoying. You round the corner to the supplies room. This room is where the night janitors drop off and pick up tools, or just pop in for a quick stretch. You shrug off your backpack and lean in to update the inventory board. Empty coffee pot? Check. Portal maintenance kit? Check. Laser sponges, 3.5 of 4. Reorder. You also scribble a reminder to order more glow-in-the-dark mop heads. The current batch is down to fuzzy little nubs. Even the tools here have mild digital personalities stamped on them. The wrench rack blinks with gratitude each time you take a tool, like an old vacuum finally clearing its throat. And the mop bucket chirps quietly whenever it's refilled. You knock on the wall of the closet. A light panel turns on behind it, revealing shelves of extra gear that you're not entirely sure how to use. You'll figure those out next week. On your way out, you notice a sign on the door. Night Custodian, Lounge and Time Travel Paradox Containment Unit. You grin at that. It never fails to raise a smile, which is exactly the point. Inside, the lounge is cozy with dim light. A potted plant on the counter changes color at random intervals. You water it reflexively whenever it starts looking droopy. You tie the curtains back. They're made of some insubstantial mist that never quite stays still, and tuck the vacuum tidily into its corner. No one else is around, but you walk through the lounge with the same care you'd offer a drawing room. It feels good to imagine being the manager of even this tiny, slightly ridiculous space. Maintaining the portal, a quiet routine. Back in the portal room, it's time for the nightly cleaning of interdimensional spillage. Over the months, you've become an expert in identifying strange stains. The purple smudge near the portal stand turned out to be leftover nebula jam from a Wednesday meeting of universe travelers. The brownish puddle by the console was, as you suspected, coffee that drifted through from the break room. You never did figure out how. Probably a tiny tear in the space-time fabric caused by the cat. Tonight's mystery. A suspicious neon green smear on the side of the portal. You dab at it with a damp rag. It smells faintly of pickles, and as you wipe, it vanishes in a puff of harmless smoke. Must have been someone's late snack. You note it silently in your log. Dimension 7. Clean, spilled dimensional relish. Assign containment team if needed. You take a sip of now tepid coffee. The night stretches on. Somewhere in the pipes, you can hear the faint buzz of another interdimensional coffee machine. Double brewing. You suspect one of your colleagues upstairs forgot to turn it off. You decide to let it brew, contemplating your next task, usually some minor repair or inventory check. Shuffling out, you almost trip on a pile of stray portal calibration charts. These diagrams are for adjusting gravitational drift in the wormholes to keep them aligned. Most night janitors would probably trash these. You, however, have a sense they might be useful as coasters. For fun, you make a tiny origami star out of one and set it next to your coffee cup, as if it's supervising you. The star looks proud. You pour a fresh cup of coffee, slightly cooler now, and sit on the floor for a minute. The cat curls up beside you, content with its snack. In this quiet moment, you let yourself relax. The hum of the portal and the cat's purring form a lullaby that is entirely your own. It's 3:42 a.m. Something large just yowled in the distance, obviously not a cat. Maybe an unhappy, interdimensional house guest on another floor. You finish your drink and toss the cup into the properly labeled, in 9 languages, trash chute. As you straighten up, you notice that the cat has disappeared from the console. Time for a little chase. There's usually at least one portal back through which they slink after their snack. You wander to the nearest portal archway, where a fuzzy set of footprints in iridescent paw print-shaped glue trap tells you exactly where it went. Each portal requires a different cleaning technique. Portal number 3's footprints are dry and sparkling, impossible to sweep. So you press the tiny vacuum button next to its control. The vacuum arm on a mechanical post descends with a gentle hiss, gobbling up the stardust prints with a satisfied slurp. Portal 5's had wet footprints that glowed. Obviously, someone spilled their morning star milk. You squirt a little solvent from your utility belt onto the wet patch and rub it with a rag until it vanishes, leaving a faint floral scent behind. Portal number 42, there's always a portal number 42, reveals the cat perched within. It has climbed onto the control console, batting at the buttons and causing the readings to flicker wildly. You quietly approach and gently lift it off. "Found you," you whisper. It meows and stares directly into your eyes, then blinks twice. Portal Cat's code for "I demand more attention." You stroke behind its ears. It purrs in its many-dimensional way. Its purr causing the portal itself to resonate with a soft chord. The control screen blinks. Extra dimension cat on board. You chuckle and scoop the cat up. It settles in your arms, crossing its extra paws. You double-check the portal's sensors and log. Everything looks normal, though the terminal has logged an unscheduled cuddle event. You scroll through your checklist. All portals cleaned? Check. Floors vacuumed and glowing? Check. No gaping spatial tears? Check. Everyone including one very well-fed cat. Accounted for? Check. You notice something odd. A small clipboard has appeared next to your usual tools, titled End of Shift Report. You've never seen it before. It reads, record any anomalies or extracosmic disturbances. Approvals required by interdimensional compliance. There's no signature, just a little smiley face scribble. You raise an eyebrow, probably a new bureaucratic measure from the cosmic administration. Night janitors now have paperwork. You shrug and tuck the clipboard under your arm. I'll fill it out in my dreams, you mutter, and move on. Dawn approaches. Finishing touches. Now you feel pleasantly tired, in a good way, like wrapping up the last page of a satisfying book. You tidy up the final scattered tools and make sure the vacuum is docked. The portal panels are clean, consoles polished, and each lever is in precisely the position you found it. Or, if it's the portal stabilizer dial, at your personal favorite noon-ish setting. It's neat, it's orderly, and it's time to go home. Walking to the exit, you pass one last portal. Through it, you see a tiny meadow of impossibly tall grasses under a lavender sky. A group of small, silly-looking creatures waves at you. They have 2 heads and 4 legs each. You recognize them from last week's cross-dimensional visitors list. Pid-Nifraths, it said. They wave back frantically. One 2-headed calf gives a thumbs up and winks, and they giggle something that sounds like wind chimes. You pat your brow with amusement and tip an imaginary hat. Portal visitors will definitely have stories to tell about their punctual janitor. The building creaks gently as the early sun from another dimension's star outside starts to rise. The corridor lights dim automatically. The cat from the lounge has followed you to the final hall. It stretches and walks beside you like a furry coworker. Except, unlike coworkers, it seems adept at dimension hopping. You reach the exit door as a gentle birdsong alarm from the craft-coated clock tower plays in the distance. You open the door and step outside. The air is crisp and feels like around 4:37 a.m., even though that concept is laughably vague when dealing with alternate universe time. It's quiet and almost comforting how everything is paused for these final moments. Your sneakers tap on tiles that glow faintly underfoot, each step echoing a tiny rune of safety. You lock up the heavy door behind you without a second thought. The cat darts after you one more time, but you pat its head gently. Get back to work, you say in mock sternness, though you know it's just going back to curl up where it likes best. probably a sunbeam in the lobby. The cat looks momentarily guilty in its eight-eyed fashion, then scampers away. Finally, you step down the street, the portal facility receding behind you. You take a deep breath, letting the scent of morning dew, or is it residual ozone, fill your lungs. You glance back once more at the building, its lights now off except for a single green indicator by the side exit. The dawn shift is on its way, and your world is shifting too. Time to rest until tomorrow night's equally bizarre shift awaits. You close the chapter on this night's shift with a satisfied sigh as soft as the last page turning. The only sound louder than your sigh is the distant yawn of a last night creature in the sky. You promise yourself that in dreams, you'll become as heroic and as calm as a janitor who can fix the universe before breakfast.